We do begin with the nuts and bolts of our economy, as the GDP report is out today, signaling that the U.S. economy shrank 0.9% at an annual rate in the second quarter, in line with those pessimistic expectations and meeting a common but unofficial definition of a recession, as an interest rate hike yesterday attempts to curb growing inflation in the country. ABC News business reporter Alexis Christoforous is here with us now, breaking it all down. All right, so recession, not a recession, technically kind of a recession. It's been a little confusing here if you hear from Dems, Republicans. You're our business correspondent. Lay it out. Just give us the facts.
Well, we had Congressman McCarthy on just a few minutes ago speaking on behalf of the Republicans, calling this a recession. So what we're having now is the tale of two economies, according to which side of the aisle you're on. So the Democrats pointing to underlying strength in the economy, even though we did have 2 quarters of back-to-back contraction in economic growth, which is sort of the textbook definition of a recession. The White House is saying, look, you still have unemployment at a 50-year low. We still have businesses hiring. We still have consumers spending, although that spending is starting to slow. So the White House is saying, look, we're not in a formal recession and things are going to get better. On the flip side, you've got Republicans saying the downturn meets the commonly used definition of recession. Really, when you want to talk about a formal recession, a body of the government called the National Economic Bureau of Research, that's a fancy name for the number of people who look at different things to determine whether or not we're in a recession. One of them is economic growth. They also look at our incomes, the job market, and consumer spending. They have yet to weigh in on whether or not we're in a formal recession. But again, as you and I have been talking about, Kira, for a lot of people who are trying to make ends meet here, paying more for just about everything, they do feel like we're already in a recession.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can definitely see both sides. You can feel both sides of the argument. So how is yesterday's interest rate connected with today's GDP report?
So the Federal Reserve still sees the need to be aggressive when it comes to hiking interest rates. Yesterday, we got our 4th rate hike of the year. We haven't seen a string of rate hikes like that since the 1980s. And we now know that the Fed is looking at raising interest rates even more as we move further into the year, unless they start to see what the Fed calls compelling evidence that inflation is coming down. And with inflation at above 9% last month, that is hardly compelling. It is yet to come down, though we are starting to see parts of the economy pull back a little bit. We know that demand for homes coming down as mortgage rates continue to rise. Consumers are spending less on goods and more on services like travel. So we'll have to see when that starts to actually push prices down, because we haven't seen that just yet. Although I do want to note, Walmart said this week they are going to have to start lowering prices to move out a stockpile of inventory. So you know what? When the largest retailer in the nation starts to cut prices, others usually start to follow suit.
Yeah, I won't lie. Nothing like a good shopping trip to Walmart, especially when you have 2 kids. So put it in perspective then, the rate hike and what it means for consumers right now, because it does mean we're still going to be paying more for certain things.
It does. And I know that doesn't make a lot of sense when you say, well, look, if the Fed is trying to bring prices down so we don't have to spend as much, why are they making it more expensive for me to borrow money? And the fact is, since January, it's gotten a lot more expensive to take out a mortgage, to get a car loan, even to pay off your credit card. So we're really looking at an economy here where they're hoping that those higher borrowing costs are going to make us all spend less. So all that torrid consumer demand is going to start to slow down. The economy slows down along with it, and businesses are forced to bring their prices lower. Of course, the trick is, do we fall into a recession because of it? And depending on who you talk to today, Kira, we're already in one.
Yeah. All right, Alexis, you have been our economic savior today, helping us weed through all the latest numbers and breaking news and politicians speaking on both sides. Appreciate it. Thanks, Alexis.
My pleasure.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.